How popular is the new Avengers movie? It's so popular, it almost outgrossed Floyd Mayweather this weekend. That's how popular this franchise is. And the next iteration of the Marvel franchise is Ant-Man in theaters near you on July 17th. And the star of it, may I say that? May I call you the star of it, of this show?
Yeah,
of this movie?
Sure.
Paul Rudd. The star of Ant-Man, Paul Rudd, is here in person in studio. Good to see you, Paul. How are you?
Great to see you, Rich. I'm great, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing very well. I would like to describe for the radio audience that you are wearing a Berry Strong Eric Berry 29 T-shirt.
That's right.
Now, the first time I met you, I think in person, was probably about 10 years ago when you were on NFL Network, rocking a Will Shields gamer.
That's right. Yeah. I like to whenever I'm with you or I'm on the NFL Network on your show, I want to get out that Chiefs support.
Yes.
I'm a proud and vocal Chiefs fan.
Yes. What do you think of? Well, now I also heard this too. You tell me if this is true or not.
Okay.
I heard that you had to DVR the first night of the draft and tell people not to tell you who the Kansas City Chiefs picked.
That's absolutely true.
My sources are correct.
They are totally good. That's weird that you would know that because I didn't let that on.
I have spies everywhere, Paul.
My son, who is now 10 and a also diehard Chiefs fan.
Yes.
And he's now just really getting into football. We had made a plan. We're going to watch the draft together. And we did. We watched the entire draft minus that first round together.
And I don't need to ask you which network of
You were fantastic.
Thank you, sir.
God
bless
you. You did a great job.
Thanks, Paul.
All 7 rounds. Watched them all. And then I had to go out that night, unfortunately. But then I came back and then I woke my son up. School night, 10, woke him up at midnight to watch the Yeah.
What did your lovely wife Julie think of this plan? Did you?
Oh, she was asleep. She's like, what? Yeah, she didn't fight me on it.
Okay. All right.
She's just like, all right.
So you woke.
I woke him up. He demanded that I wake him up, and I said, I'll wake you up because I understand that's important.
Okay. So did you zip to the Chiefs pick, or did you go?
No,
okay.
I wanted to see who kind of went.
Of course.
And actually, I thought I'll let it go until the Chiefs pick, and then I'll wake him up.
Yes.
But by about the 5th pick, he came, like he's rubbing his eyes, and he came walking out, and he's like, and he's giving me one of those, dude, what? You didn't wait. You said you were going to wake me up. And then I had to explain, well, we're still 10 picks away.
Yeah. And when it finally got there, were you pleased with the Chiefs' choice?
Yeah, I think it's a good choice. I mean, here's the thing. I don't really know that much.
Neither do nobody does.
But my son does.
Okay.
He's like, oh, Peters, he's a beast. That was what he said. And he was very pleased. He was very vocal about players that he wanted to go to the Chiefs. It didn't happen, and he was bummed.
Who did your son want the Chiefs to pick?
He would have loved it if they had gotten Devin Smith.
Okay.
He wanted Lockett.
Well, I mean, Lockett's a Kansas State guy, too.
Okay. Ben Heaney, a KU guy.
Okay.
He wanted, but yeah, he roots for. He was watching a lot of Ohio State this last year, so he really, really wanted Devin Smith.
Well, clearly, I need to come to the Rudd household and
straighten him out.
Yeah, I mean.
Well, then he was also psyched about it. He's like, "Ooh, you think they'll go Funchess?" So he knows his Funchess.
By the way, Paul Rudd is joining me here in studio. What does that mean for you as a dad to have your son turn to you and say, "Do you think they'll go Funchess?" What does that mean for you as a dad on planet Earth?
So much. It's seriously the best. I remember when I was his age.
Yes.
And I was diehard Steelers. I still like the Steelers, but I was Steelers my whole life. And it wasn't until I left. I lived in Kansas City as a kid. And it wasn't until I left Kansas City, and then I've lived in New York City for 20 years. But it's like when you leave, you have a respect. I like the teams that get no respect and never get any props or talked about. Even on the draft, like the Chiefs make a pick, people don't even talk about it. It's like they'll skip to the Patriots.
Well, I get tweets all the time saying, "Oh, there you go to commercial again when the Kansas City Chiefs are on the clock." As if I have control over this.
By the way,
right.
Chiefs fans, I get on the sites and in the talkback.
You're blogging it up?
I don't blog anything, but I read them all.
Okay.
And everyone's furious. It's like they didn't even talk about him. Like they didn't even mention who the player was.
As if I am sitting there on the set saying to the production truck, Do me a favor.
Yeah.
Let's screw the Chiefs fans over because they're expecting it to happen.
Is this a thing? Is there a thing in, like, it's a smaller market team.
Mm-hmm.
People are not that, they're not. I get it. It's not like the Patriots or the Giants or the Jets, and but so we kind of get used to it. We're used to it as Chiefs fans.
Well, the first Thursday night football game of the year on NFL Network and CBS, which is America's most watched network, is Denver
Chiefs Broncos
at Kansas City.
Uh-huh.
I mean, have you checked your busy schedule to see if you can make such an event?
I have.
And?
Well, I hope I can do it.
Okay.
It depends on what kind of ant activities I am involved in. I don't really know.
Well, Ant-Man coming out in theaters near you on July 17th. And let's hit this brief bit here, because this is completely different from anything that you've ever. Have you ever done any comic book related material ever?
No, this is new terrain. Yeah,
yes.
New territory for me.
Okay. And I remember when I saw you in Atlanta last year, for that Thursday night football game, you were shying away from certain foods. You were locking it down.
Oh,
You were on lockdown.
I was in serious superhero mindset. Yeah.
Okay. To become Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did you do to become Ant-Man, Paul Rudd? What do you do?
It's more of what I didn't do, and that was eat nachos at that football game. Drink beer. I drank a lot of water, and I ate a lot of vegetables and a lot of proteins.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
right.
I was on a very strict diet, and then the physical aspect of it, of working out and all that kind of stuff.
Right. And so tell me what this is about for folks who don't know. You become an ant-size.
Yeah, there's
superhero,
a character. It's part of Marvel history. A character that a lot of people, unless they're kind of real comic book enthusiasts,
yes,
and even then, some don't know who Ant-Man is.
Yes.
But there's a character in the Marvel universe in its history about a guy who puts on a suit and he can shrink down to the size of an ant.
right,
And also talk to the ants. Help kind of control the ants. It comes in handy more than you would realize.
And in daily life, have you attempted to do this in real life?
Talk to an ant.
Yes. Have you attempted? I mean, is that part of your preparation for this role, to just start going up to insects and trying to communicate with them?
Try and talk to my aunt, like my actual Auntie Cheryl and my Aunt Jackie.
Yeah, Aunt B.
Aunt B.
Yeah, right. But see, we can't call it an aunt.
An aunt.
You know what I mean? That ruins it.
That's where everyone in my family is British. My parents both from
right.
London,
That's
and so
right.
aunt and auntie.
Mhm.
But I was always self-conscious saying aunt. I always said aunt.
You did.
Yeah.
Maybe that was a Pittsburgh thing or a Kansas City thing or
I
something
don't
like
know.
that.
Just,
I've got Paul Rudd
it's
here in studio
fascinating to think about that.
on the Rich Eisen show. I didn't think I would talk Royals baseball with you,
Okay. No.
but they are. Well, I mean, just in general.
Yeah.
But they are on fire.
And fuego.
They're en fuego.
Yeah.
Yes, as
Yeah.
DP would say.
Well, you know what? They're for real. Again, a team that I think for many years, cellar dwellers.
Right.
And every year there was the promise. We had a really strong farm club, and players are starting to kind of live up to their potential. They're fun to watch.
Why are they so angry, though, Paul?
Because everyone is throwing baseballs at them.
They are. I look up and this Ventura kid is dropping F-bombs at people who hit comebackers to the mound. And then suddenly everybody's spilling in from the bullpen.
Yeah, there's been some dust-ups. But I don't think it's – I mean, I do not think that this is all Royals.
Okay.
They're getting antagonized a little bit too. And I think you can only get hit by so many baseballs.
Yes.
Now, I don't condone anybody throwing baseballs.
Never, of course not.
Obviously. But yeah, it's there's always two sides to every story.
Right.
Ventura, he said that he needs to kind of control his temper, didn't he?
He's got the old quick fuse from the producers. Now he's got that quick fuse.
Right.
It just boom, and it just explodes. You
Yeah.
know? But I don't know. They just came off the best 25-game start ever, and I saw you were at Game 7.
I went to all
year
those
as well.
games. All the there was a break in the Ant-Man schedule. I got to go to all the games in Kansas City,
No kidding.
including the ALCS. It was
Wow.
so thrilling. Again, like,
Right.
I actually got so into it more than I even would have anticipated. And I'm a Royals fan, but it reminded me of being there in '85 as a kid.
I would like to take some phone calls with you when we come back, if that's okay.
I'd love
Folks,
it.
okay, so if you want to talk to Paul Rudd, call 844-204-RICH. Now, we only have just a 60-second break.
Oh,
Now, I know that you've been there and you've done that in your career with so many things. you have another T-shirt, and
Right.
you're about to attempt the first ever wardrobe change.
Should I
in the
go for a
history-
wardrobe change?
Yes.
Let's do it.
The first ever wardrobe change in the history of the Rich Eisen Show, and it's just a minute break.
60 seconds.
But again, you're Ant-Man.
I can
You
go
can do
fast.
anything. There we
I
go.
would have brought it in.
Okay. Paul Rudd is here.
Tell me when to go,
On
and
the
I'm going
Rich
to run a
Eisen Show.
40 faster than you, Rich.
You're off. Paul Rudd is gone. He's going to
This
change.
is great. He literally just sprinted by
He
me.
did. Hopefully, he hydrated because we can't have Ant-Man pulling a hammy.
No.
It would be a very small hammy, though, right?
A small one.
Paul Rudd in studio, please call in. That's what we do here on this program is we connect our loyal listeners and viewers with people like Paul Rudd, who will be coming back in a different T-shirt for the first ever wardrobe change in the history of the Rich Eisen Show. Back in 1 minute with Paul Rudd, 844-204-RICH.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern. On Audience.